it is going to get really uncomfortable in here. And I don't think Jay Lethal realized just how prophetic that statement would end up being. Woo! That was certainly an experience, wasn't it? But was it a good experience? Was it a bad experience? Was it a train wreck experience? Yes. To all that, yes. Let's talk about it. I'm John Renton with my review of Ric Flair's last match ever. Can it please be his last match? His last match should have been at Mania 24 when he still had a little bit of dignity left. But my fucking goodness, Ric Flair has just shredded his goddamn dignity, snorted it, drank it, pissed it away, whatever. Ric Flair is seen as one of the greatest of all time. His in-ring work speaks for itself. Truly one of the best. Came back from a career-ending back injury on a plane crash and truly became one of the best world champions ever. Traveled the world, pissed away a lot of marriages, pissed away a lot of booze and a whole lot of stuff and everything, and nearly died a number of years ago. Got a pacemaker in, but decided, oh, fuck it, I'm going to get in and wrestle. Yeah, if you want to call it a wrestling match. I mean, look, it wasn't going to be anything great. That was almost 30 pissing fucking minutes when it should have been about 10. That was egregiously bad, egregiously sad, and also fucking hilarious. He didn't die. He didn't pull a Barney. It didn't die. But, man, whew, at least the Undercard had some good stuff. Full disclosure, I had to miss the pre-show because I was at work a little bit later, so I had to watch pre-show later. I will be honest, had I seen the pre-show, I probably would have decided, fuck it, it's not worth the $35 that I paid. One match in particular, I wonder if you can guess which one. It wasn't Ren Narita versus Yuya Uemura. They had a decent back and forth, these two young lions being trained under Shibata on excursion in the LA dojo, doing some really good work. The high gable grip wins it for Ren Narita, or whatever he's calling it right now. 1, 2, 3. That's a tremendous finisher. And Yuya, he has been shining as well. I look forward to seeing the bright futures that these two have. But then we have, I don't know who the fuck Frank the Clown is. Fatu comes. I met Jacob Fatu, by the way. Scary guy. Nice guy. Very nice guy. Sweetheart. Great guy. But once that bell rings, if you don't move, he will make you move. How is he not signed to a major wrestling company? More on that in a little bit. Foley stops Frank the Clown, throws him in, and Fatu does the butt bump. Bully Ray gets Welcome to the Jungle as music. Bunkhouse Battle Royal. Okay, I understand. They're getting a bunch of people on the goddamn card. Okay, Bully Ray, Wolfie D, yes, of PG-13. I did not know either of them were still alive. Sin Bodhi, who is Kazarni for a cup of coffee in WWE. And Sin Bodhi, good talent. He's done some great work on the indies. Has a great look. Really don't understand why WWE brought him in and didn't do anything with him. Adam Priest, Big Damo, oh Big Damo. Brian Myers, Crimson, fresh off the Alaskan Trump rally. Yes, I'm going to make a lot of comments like that here, so deal with it. Crowbar. I'm glad Devin Storm's still getting work, but whew, in this mess. Gringo Loco, James Storm, and a bunch of other people, including Ricky Shane Page, who is a name that I have heard, and that's really all I can say. And then they had a surprise entrant. Who's the surprise entrant? Nick Gage. So it's not a wrestling match. It doesn't feature wrestling anymore. It features garbage because Nick Gage, as a wrestler, is garbage. Can't fucking do anything. Can't fucking work. He's a goddamn bumbling idiot. That match that he had with Jericho on Dynamite was fucking embarrassing. I know people like Nick Gage. You can like Nick Gage all you goddamn well want. But a bunch of GCW goofs come in. And look, there are some talents that have worked on GCW shows. And even a couple of them were in this group. Effie, who I met at an indie show a little bit before the pandemic. Does a lot of good stuff for LGBTQ people and LGBTQ wrestling. That's hard to say twice. And Joey Janela got in, so now you know that it's immediately garbage. And look, Joey Janela, I don't wish anything bad to happen to the guy. Don't wish anything bad to happen to the guy. Even if it was lower card money, he got paid AEW money for 3 years, which is about 3 years too long as far as the amount of money that he should have gotten from AEW for his talent level. Jacob Fatu, Hammerstone, so many other people killing their bodies on the goddamn indies. And this guy, even because he had a little bit of a following and AEW fans, the vast majority, shat on him, this guy gets signed by Tony Khan. I could have understood a 1-year deal because he had a bit of a following, but goddamn, I know they had the pandemic, I know they had this, but fuck. And he wasn't even the most offensive one here. Because Nick Gage can't fucking work at all. Joey, at least with the right person, can work with somebody. I did see a match that he had with Nick Wayne. More on that later. where Nick Wayne really fucking showed off. That was at Defy, historic Washington Hall. So yeah, this was putrid because it had GCW guys, especially Nick fucking Gage, and also Crimson. That guy can fuck off. They used an extra ring rope and a whole bunch of stuff. Mance Warner won. Okay, can we get to the actual wrestling? We can get to the actual wrestling. Nashville Fairgrounds, capacity was about 8,700 people. I don't know if they sold it out. I would imagine they got a pretty good crowd, though. It looked like the lower bowl was at least full. From Jim Crockett Promotions, I don't understand how they got away with this unless WWE just let the trademark expire, or maybe they never had the trademark. I don't know. And this is the first thing I wrote down. Holy fuck, Bob Caudle is still alive. I am surprised, because Bob Caudle looked about 70 when he was on the first Starrcade show, or at least 60. And it turns out he's 91. I mean, good for him. I'm glad they got Bob Caudle there. I'm just amazed he's still alive. Tony Schiavone and David Crockett welcome us. Scott D'Amore joins commentary. Ian Riccaboni, the former Tom Phillips, Tom, I don't remember his last name, Hannafin, I think is what it is. There were a couple other people. They had a GCW commentator that joined for the Battle Royal, which doesn't mean anything, because GCW, I'm sorry, is fucking trash. Especially their promoter. Oh boy. Skeletons in that guy's closet. But anyway, yeah, Hugo Savinovich and Carlos Cabrera. I wonder how much coke Hugo did before. If you know, you know. He was doing, I believe, a AAA show. I believe it was Triple Mania. And there were lines of coke by the announcer's table. Or actually on the announcer's table. Maybe don't do that during work. But whatever. So, the Motor City Machine Guns. Sabin and Shelley taking on the American Wolves. Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. I actually got to meet Eddie Edwards at an indie show about 3 years ago. Nice guy. Tough as nails. Good pace. Good stuff. Both these teams are a little bit long in the tooth. Motor City Machine Guns move a lot better. The Wolves don't team up nearly as much because Davey bops in and out of wrestling because I believe he's a firefighter or something where he makes more money. Some good groundwork by the Wolves. There was a good double submission spot. We did get the Wolves hitting what looked like the finish, just a stomp for 2. And Skull and Crossbones for Motor City Machine Guns. 1, 2. Motor City Machine Guns, that is, even though I headed that. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Motor City Machine Guns get the victory. Not a bad match. Actually, a pretty good opener. Definitely made up for the bullshit bunkhouse battle royal. Memories of Jim Crockett Promotions, where Caudle talks about them. Man, I'm still amazed Bob Caudle's still alive. The former Santino Marella, that piece of shit, and noted anti-Semite, Al Snow, is there at ringside. Mick Foley's there. Vicky Guerrero demanded a wall be built around one of the matches coming up. And yeah, fuck Vicky Guerrero. Just fuck off, Vicky. I wish Eddie was still here instead of you, because quite frankly, wrestling would be better off. So anyway, let's get to Davey Boy Smith Jr. versus Killer Cross with Scarlett. Oh, dear. Whew. Oh, go back and watch this if you want to see one of the worst matches on a main show. This was something that was purported to be, some sort of dream match. And look, I've seen Cross. Cross can work. Davey Jr. can work. This was abysmal. And Cross with hair looks weird. Scarlett at one point was yelling, harder, which I don't even need to make jokes there. And at one point, Cross hits him with, a forearm from behind. And whenever a tall man fists you from behind, you're going to stay down. I will be taking no further questions on this. There you go. There you go. That match was a bit... I cannot state just how... That match, it didn't last too long. The crowd hated it. I don't know if they mic'd the crowd up too good or not, but whew. Nick Nemeth, yes, Dolph Ziggler. He's there. Well, he's on video, wishing, good luck to Ric Flair. Don't die, Flair. Booker T, Shawn Michaels. I wonder which of his eyes was keeping an eye on the camera. Lex Luger. Lex, you almost look like you were going to kick the coffee table. Oh, you can't kick because you killed Miss Elizabeth and karma came and got you. Didn't it? Like Lex is going to watch this. Doug Dillinger is still alive. A lot of people on Shocked are still alive. Will Sasso. He made some appearances in WCW. Speaking of stuff that has nothing to do with WCW, let's go Takeshita, Alan Angels, Nick fucking Wayne. Woo! Pacific Northwest guy. Kid. I really feel bad for saying kid, but I mean, God, he's 17. I met him at various indie shows. Great kid. Great talent. Honoring his father. Great talent. And his mother, super sweet. I see where he gets the height, because she's really tall. But Nick Wayne's really, really cool. I've seen him compete against various people. He's a great guy. Great talent. Sky's the limit for him. Jonathan Gresham's also in this. This match was actually pretty good. It was also 5 minutes. Had they added a few more minutes to this and taken, I don't know, a couple minutes off of one of them, it would have been kind of nice. But it was good, but just boom, 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 and then it just ended. Like, oh, okay. I was prepared. Had they given this about 5 more minutes, had it been 10 minutes of nonstop action, I might have put it up on my favorite matches of the year list. It didn't, whatever. I know Takeshita and Nick Wayne had a match at some indie show, and I know they killed it, because I will say this much. They are both great talents as far as in the ring. So, yeah, Gresham did get that bridge pin 1, 2, 3. It was for a Progress Heavyweight Championship match. Or title shot or whatever. And I mean, I did note at one point when somebody tried to miss Gresham with the clothesline, they swung normally and just swung over his head, because I'm just saying he's not tall enough for these rides. So anyway, Cody talks about Flair versus Dusty in a video. Nick Aldis joins commentary for the Rock and Roll Express, but not Ricky and Robert. No. Robert Gibson was in the corner, and it was Ricky and Kerry Morton. Yes, Ricky's son. Okay. Taking on Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson with Arn. Oh no, Psycho Sid's upset about the scissors. No, it's like, hide your scissors, hide your wives, because they're coming here for everybody. Old and new collide. It wasn't bad. It's wild that we're still seeing any member of the Rock and Roll Express in a wrestling ring in 2022. Rock and roll chants. We got a distraction. We got a gourd buster, and Brock pinned Ricky 1, 2, 3. It was acceptable. It wasn't. I was a little bit disappointed, but eh. And then we got J.J. Dillon in the crowd. I think he fell asleep when they turned the lights out. Genuinely think he fell asleep. Bandito versus Laredo Kid versus Black Taurus, who I have no idea who he is. Big lad. Versus Ray Phoenix. Action everywhere, and not a spot to stop and think about what the fuck's going on. There was like one slow point when they were setting up a top rope move. Everybody else is just doing a whole bunch of stuff. Bandito nearly died doing a dive because his feet got caught up in the ropes. And Black Taurus, because he's strong as a bull, stopped him. He's like, no. Did that. Whew, God, I'm so glad the Bandito's okay. That was a hair's breadth away from something bad happening. And then there was like a press slam out the top by Black Taurus. That was impressive. Fallaway slam, moonsault outside. I don't even know how to call this fucking shit. At one, Phoenix wins. It was probably the most action-packed match of the night. This is what I wanted the previous 4-way to be. And this was given a good amount of time. I don't know. I just still wish that other 4-way had had more time. This is good, though. I'm not usually much for these action, these non-stop, no-selling things, but it reminded me of the luchador matches or the cruiserweight matches they would have on WCW pay-per-views. So at least there was that. So then we get JR talking about Rick's career. And Jacob Fatu versus Josh Alexander. Look, they hit some good power moves. Jacob Fatu is fucking agile as shit. The fact he can hit a moonsault, he can hit a freaking whisper in the wind at 300 pounds. Good Lord. He hit that. Josh Alexander's a moose of an athlete. There was some good stuff. And then suddenly, Brian Myers, Matt Cardona interfere, and Mark Sterling's there. Oh boy, great, good. That's just what I need to fucking see. And then suddenly DDP shows up and Diamond cuts Cardona. Yay! I mean, DDP got a pop. Bigger than Cardona and my... Look, credit to Matt Cardona for making the most of his post-WWE run. I mean, I don't care, but good for him. So anyway, yeah, that happened. There was some interview guy talking to Jeff Jarrett, but Jerry Jarrett answered the door, and then Jerry Lawler was there. Way too much Jerry on my television. Is Jerry Lawler legally allowed to be near this many children? Are there children in the crowd? They do the Fargo strut. Yay. Look, it was a throwback to a lot of fun territorial stuff, but we get back to another throwback. We get to the Von Erichs versus the Briscoes. My God. It's amazing. I didn't know that Jack and Jerry it's the Briscoes, Mark and Jay. Of course it is. And it's not the actual Von Erichs because, well, there's only Kevin left because David couldn't gut it out. Mike, went on the Sleepaway Camp remake, and then also, well, Chris and Carrie just took their shot and it just didn't work. Okay, mean. Marshall and Ross, I don't care. I'm gonna be mean here. The match wasn't bad. There's a whole lot of just redneck energy here. That's just all I'll say. Kid Rock, by the way, was in the crowd. Fuck Kid Rock. Goddamn phony. You're a big phony. It wasn't pretty, but it was a good fight. I'll give him that much. I believe it was Marshall wrestling barefoot. One of them was wrestling barefoot. I have not seen the Von Erich sons wrestle that much. There was a cool claw hold move for 2, and then the Froggy Bow, I think is what it's called. 1, 2, 3. The Briscoes get the victory. Not bad. It certainly didn't overstay its welcome. They flattened the Von Erichs more than, Fritz Von Erich after August 11th, 1997. I think it was August 11th. Moving on from that, it's Sting to talk about Flair. Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace versus Rachel Ellering. 3-way Knockouts Championship match. I'm glad that Rachel Ellering is alright because, one, she had Pat Benatar's Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Fire Away as her theme, but also her ankle got rolled because there was a bad timing on that roll-up. Ouch. Accidents happen. Glad Rachel Ellering's alright. Not bad. I don't know why they gave the women the death slot. I really don't. There was a cool, a couple arm bars by Deonna, some good strength by Jordynne, who has really improved her game. Rachel Ellering is talented as well. Deonna's very good. And that was pretty much it. Like, rear naked choke, tapped out Rachel. Not a bad match. It was the only women's match on the show. But then we get a video package on Ric Flair's last match. Him cutting stuff on Conrad. Fuck Conrad Thompson, by the way. Goddamn, the guy's a goddamn piece of shit. Pimp himself out for goddamn anything. He could pimp himself out. Nope, not gonna say it. Not saying it. Not saying it. The fact that he married one of Flair's daughters, though, so is proof that anybody can fail upwards. So anyway, they go over all the stuff like when Ric Flair got bloody because of It's a Day That Ends and why Ric Flair's gonna bleed. So Jay makes his entrance. Jarrett makes his entrance to My World with Karen Jarrett. There are certain people that never belonged in wrestling because they never earned it, because they never understood their place wasn't in wrestling. There's Sable, and there's Karen Jarrett. Karen Jarrett is the modern Sable. And I don't care if she was outside the ring, I don't give a damn. She was not any good in whatever role she was given, because she was an annoying bitch that offered nothing whenever she was at ringside. The same here. So, he just pushed Conrad Thompson. Push him harder next time. Push him over like a turtle so he can't get off his goddamn back. So anyway, Andrade Olio makes his entrance, and then Flair gets a royal entrance with the big gold belt and a pacemaker in his heart, and he's still going to wrestle. You fucking goddamn idiot. Again, morbid curiosity. Holy hell, Dave Penzer's announcing. I know Dave Penzer's not that old. I just didn't know he's still announcing. Good for him. So, the entrances and the introductions, I swear, took about 15 minutes. Unfortunately, the match took almost twice that long. I did not expect a 5-star classic. I didn't even expect a 3-star classic. Flair can't do anything anymore. Flair could barely do anything. Shawn got everything out of him at Mania 24, which was 14 years ago. Flair couldn't really do anything in TNA, but he needed the money, so he did what he did. But even then, you're like, okay, there's a little bit of Flair left. A little bit. There ain't nothing left here. God damn. I'm aghast. I wasn't even uncomfortable watching it. I was just like, this is fucking rotten. And you know what? Flair deserves every bit of ridicule. Congratulations, Rick, on not dying in the ring. So, stalling the musical is what I call this goddamn thing. Look, it's Flair and Andrade El Olio versus Jarrett and Lethal. One last ride. The Undertaker's also there. Ric Flair meeting The Undertaker is not far off, by the way, and I don't mean the wrestler. Whew. Excruciating, painful anytime Flair was in the ring. It was like watching your grandfather trying to swim and do, like, you know, any kind of laps around the goddamn pool when he can't even really fucking move. It was like watching if Grandpa Simpson and Jasper tried to have a fight, except they were more nimble. You cannot tell me that this was anything other than just a sideshow freak, you know. It was a freak show. That's what it was. It was a sideshow act. Sideshow Bob. I expected people to start stepping in the rakes and hitting themselves in the goddamn face. At one point, after a whole bunch of stuff where Flair is bleeding, because of course he fucking bled, and Andrade is trying to make this work. Andrade may not be the best in the ring. He is clearly the best out of any of the four here. Jarrett was never that great in the ring, but he could have good enough matches in the mid-card and upper mid-card. Jay Lethal, I mean, those fans were speaking out, you know, towards him or whatever. And if you want to find out more, Google Jay Lethal speaking out. But Flair, anytime he did anything, he tried to do any chops, he's trying to do this stuff, he's wearing a goddamn shirt. He literally looked like an old man just getting out of the swimming pool. They have Megan, I think that's his daughter's name, Flair's other's daughter's name, and Karen Jarrett getting a middle-aged cat fight. Rick was bleeding. My God, this is over 20 minutes is what I wrote down. Andrade gets the hot tag. Kick him like a dog. Okay, I admit that David Crockett made me laugh with that. A poison rana to Lethal. The poison rana is a stupid maneuver, and whoever came up with it deserves to be punched repeatedly in the face until they stop moving. So, oh God. Jarrett brought out the guitar, still hasn't drawn a goddamn dime with those things. And then a loaded punch because Andrade, got the brass knucks. Loaded punch, figure four, and Jarrett got pinned. I mean, okay. I'm shocked Lethal didn't get pinned. Maybe they just wanted to go. Maybe Jarrett wanted to be the one to just take the fall. I don't really fucking care, but that was 26 to 28 minutes. And it felt like it lasted. That is one of the worst matches I've seen this year. That was one of the worst matches I've seen in the last 5 years. That is the most unnecessary match I've seen in the last 5 years. And was it meant to be anything great? No. Was it meant to be a send-off for Rick? Yes. You could have accomplished that in 10 minutes, just saying. I know that Rick can't really move, and that you probably had to freaking cattle prod him awake, because he hasn't had a goddamn clue where he's been in the last 20 fucking years, since he decided to helicopter around that, you know, right in the face of that one flight attendant, allegedly, just covering my ass here. But we get confetti and Flair congratulating The Undertaker, or being congratulated by The Undertaker, and Brett, and Foley. And David Crockett is yelling, go, Talent, go, surround Rick. Surround Rick, what the fuck? Are there snipers? Are people going to take him out? Are they worried that maybe they're going to have to use the body heat, or maybe somebody's going to have to donate their heart because Rick just left his heart in the ring, literally? Flair's last promo. I thought he was just going to keel over right there. I'm glad he didn't. Then they did credits like the old Crockett days. Oh. Rick, you torpedoed your fucking legacy years ago. You absolutely sunk it to the goddamn bottom of a lake in 2010 with your TNA run. But the TNA run looked leagues better than this sad sack of shit. And that's exactly what Ric Flair looked like. A sad sack of shit. My fucking goddamn goodness. It wasn't dull. I'll give it that much. They got my money. Morbid Curiosity got me. Did they get your money, or did you watch it illegally? You can tell me in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. Woo! Right off into the sunset, Rick. We don't need to see you again.